The early military successes achieved under Osman Ghazi marked a turning point in the balance of power along the northwestern Anatolian frontier. In a decisive, open battle against Byzantine forces, Osman's army secured what is widely regarded as the first major battlefield victory of the emerging Ottoman state. This triumph not only demonstrated the growing effectiveness of his command, but also accelerated territorial expansion across the strategic region of Bithynia. The outcome reshaped local politics and signaled the arrival of a formidable new force. At the time of the confrontation, Bithynia was a contested zone where Byzantine authority faced mounting pressure from frontier warriors. The region's fortified towns and fertile lands made it economically and strategically valuable. Byzantine commanders sought to stabilize their hold by organizing field armies capable of confronting expanding Turkish forces. For Osman, the challenge presented an opportunity to test the strength of his increasingly organized military structure. Preparations for the campaign reflected a shift from irregular raiding toward coordinated battlefield engagement. Osman assembled a force composed of experienced cavalry, lightly equipped infantry, and auxiliary units drawn from allied communities. Commanders emphasized discipline and communication, recognizing that success in open battle required cohesion. Intelligence reports suggested that Byzantine troops intended to halt further incursions by forcing a decisive encounter. The battlefield itself lay in terrain that favored mobility. Open plains allowed cavalry maneuvers, while nearby elevations offered vantage points for observation. Osman's commanders positioned their units to exploit speed and flexibility. Advanced scouts monitored enemy formations, relaying information that shaped tactical decisions. The strategy centered on disrupting Byzantine cohesion before delivering concentrated strikes. When the engagement began, Byzantine forces advanced in organized ranks, relying on heavier armor and established battlefield doctrine. Osman's troops responded with rapid flanking movements designed to stretch enemy lines. Cavalry units executed repeated charges, targeting vulnerable sections and withdrawing before counterattacks could stabilize positions. This pattern eroded Byzantine coordination and created openings for sustained assaults. As the battle intensified, Osman maintained centralized oversight while delegating execution to trusted lieutenants. Signals transmitted across the field ensured synchronized action. Infantry elements supported cavalry operations by securing captured ground and preventing enemy regrouping. The combination of mobility and structured command gradually shifted momentum in favor of Osman's army. The decisive phase occurred when concentrated attacks fractured the Byzantine center. Once cohesion broke, retreat spread quickly through enemy ranks. Osman's forces pursued cautiously, prioritizing consolidation over reckless advance. Securing the battlefield allowed commanders to gather supplies, treat the wounded, and reorganize units. The victory was both tactical and symbolic, confirming that the frontier army could prevail in direct confrontation. News of the triumph circulated rapidly across the region. For local communities, the outcome altered perceptions of power. Settlements that had hesitated to align with Osman now viewed his leadership as a source of stability and protection. Some Byzantine outposts reconsidered their positions, recognizing that isolated resistance carried increasing risk. Diplomatic overtures and negotiated surrenders followed in the wake of military success. Territorial expansion in Bithynia accelerated as a result. Control of key routes enabled efficient troop movement and strengthened logistical networks. Fortified positions captured after the battle served as anchors for further operations. Administrative measures accompanied military gains, integrating new territories into an emerging governance framework. Tax collection and infrastructure repair reinforced the sense of order under new authority. Economic effects were equally significant. Bithynia's agricultural productivity and commercial links contributed resources that sustained continued campaigning. Markets reopened under secure conditions, encouraging merchants to resume activity. Revenue supported maintenance of garrisons and investment in defensive works. The integration of economic and military priorities reflected an increasingly sophisticated approach to state building. Osman's leadership during the campaign enhanced his standing among followers and rivals alike. Participation in the battle reinforced personal bonds with his warriors, while successful coordination demonstrated strategic competence. Recruitment benefited as volunteers joined a force associated with victory. The expanding army required structured organization, prompting further refinement of command hierarchies. Cultural and social dynamics evolved alongside territorial growth. Religious institutions played a role in legitimizing expansion, framing victory within a broader narrative of purpose. Community rituals commemorated the battle, strengthening collective identity. Diverse populations within captured territories adapted to new administration, contributing skills and labor that enriched the frontier society. The broader geopolitical context amplified the significance of the victory. Regional powers monitored developments in Bithynia, aware that shifting control could influence trade and security. Osman's measured consolidation signaled long-term intentions rather than temporary raiding. By avoiding overextension and reinforcing each gain, he established a pattern of sustainable expansion. Military observers noted the effectiveness of combining mobility with disciplined structure. Osman's forces demonstrated that adaptable tactics could overcome heavier formations when guided by coherent command. Lessons learned from the engagement informed subsequent campaigns, shaping doctrine and training. The battlefield's success thus served as a catalyst for institutional development. Urban centers within the expanding territory experienced transformation. Defensive repairs strengthened walls and gates, while civic administration resumed under appointed officials. Investment in roads improved connectivity between settlements. These measures reduced the likelihood of rebellion and enhanced economic integration. Stability attracted migration, increasing the population base available for defense and production. The psychological impact of the victory extended beyond immediate participants. Confidence in the emerging state grew as repeated successes replaced uncertainty with expectation. Leaders emphasized continuity between military achievement and responsible governance, presenting expansion as a pathway to collective prosperity. This narrative encouraged loyalty and cooperation. In assessing the long-term consequences, the early Ottoman battlefield victory in Bithynia stands as a milestone in regional history. It marked the transition from localized frontier conflict to sustained military capability capable of reshaping territorial control. By demonstrating effectiveness in open battle, Osman validated his strategic vision and secured momentum for future operations. The integration of newly acquired lands required ongoing attention to administration, defense, and economic management. Institutions established in the aftermath of victory formed the backbone of an expanding polity. Each subsequent campaign built upon foundations laid during this formative period. Ultimately, the success achieved under Osman Ghazi illustrated how disciplined leadership and adaptive tactics could redefine the frontier landscape. The decisive defeat of Byzantine forces and the resulting expansion in Bithynia established a precedent for continued growth. From this early triumph emerged a trajectory of development that would influence the course of Anatolian history for generations.